Thank you.
Oh my God, that sucks. I love it.
The setup.
Dude, this is sweet. I like it.
Did you see the little booth?
I didn't see the booth. Is that what that is in there?
Yeah.
I was noticing the "It Sucks, I Love It" neon.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But that's like, so the history of this is I always made music in college.
Okay.
So I just like guitar, beat pad, and I had a mic too, but I was never like, I was always really shy about using my voice. I just like making music,
Sure.
like making beats and stuff. So in college, like when my roommates weren't home, I would just sit there and make music.
Okay.
So that's what I would do when they were like out partying or something. I would usually be at home making music.
And this is transformed from that, I'm guessing.
This is transformed from that. And that was my whole purpose of starting with Aptive in 2019. My junior year summer was going to be to go make money and to buy nicer music equipment and make an EP.
That was your why.
That was my why.
That was your why.
Straight up. I didn't even know about leadership. I didn't know anything about that. So
That I like that though, because they talk about like, you know, your why could be stupid to somebody else, but as long as it's important to you, like that'll keep you going. Like
yeah.
someone's why could be to get a Mustang, but
Yeah.
like if somebody likes Chevy cars, that why wouldn't do anything. But if you really wanted that Mustang,
Yeah.
like that would push you to do that. So like if you really wanted that music thing, like
100%.
that'd push you, and you know that can fold on itself over and over again, where it turns into your family or investments or whatever it is. But you know the why has to be important to you.
It does. Try to keep it like a fist from your face, and you can kind of point it at you too. You can move it any which way. It doesn't matter. You can just grab the mic and just, yep.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just want to
better.
hear, if you hear yourself pretty crisp, you want to be pretty crisp. And you can move it anywhere to you. It's all good.
All right.
But yeah, crazy thing though about this room is that this was completely happened because of the Doors in a completely different way. So in 2022,
Okay.
Tay Choi was knocking in Long Island.
Long Island, yeah.
And I was in Long Island.
I was in White Plains that summer.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was Long Island. You were in White Plains. Tay Choi, Charlie, they were in Long Island as well. Richie was in Long Island.
Would that have been Richie's rookie year?
No, scratch that. This was Richie's second year, and he wasn't in Long Island. So scratch that. That wasn't the case.
Okay.
But point is, Tay Choi sold somebody, and it was his mom's house, this guy named Jay Cloud on Instagram.
Okay.
Right? He sold this dude. He was living in his mom's house in the bottom, it was like the bottom apartment, but it was fully decked out as a recording studio. And this dude was making 6 figures as a hip hop producer,
Okay.
living in his mother's house, working at Amazon, and at night being a hip hop producer. So Tay sold this guy. They found him, cool, yada, yada. And then he linked him up with Richie, and he was like, Richie, you should come make music with this guy sometime.
Oh, no way.
So the following year when Richie was in Long Island, Richie linked up with Jay Cloud and went and made a couple songs with him.
Cool.
Right? And then...
Was he still a customer?
Yeah, still a customer.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So still a customer. And then 2023, I'm thinking like, all right, my new house that I got, like I'm going to convert this room into what I used to have, standing desk, and I'll just make it like cooler. I'll have a little bit of a studio, my studio room, my music room. I had not planned on this. 2024, I'm thinking about doing it after the summer, and Richie's like, yo, you should hit up Jay Cloud, because I was telling Richie, like, I'm going to make this studio room. You should hit up Jay Cloud. Like, he's got a crazy setup, and he knows everything. I was like, okay, we'll see, whatever. Hit this guy up on Instagram. We'll see if he responds.
Yeah.
Hit him up on Instagram. I was with my girlfriend. He Instagram video calls me on the spot.
Just like ready about that action.
Just about that action.
We're talking about production.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And he was like, yeah, dude, I love Wood Rich. Like, let me help you. Like, what do you need? And we started talking about stuff. I came back to my house because I was at her house. I came back to my house that weekend, like gave him like a panoramic view of the room. He just completely came up with all of this in his mind. And he was like, all right, we need this. We're going to turn your closet into a recording booth. We're going to have a monitor in there so you can see everything and you can use your mouse in there. Completely soundproof the space. I'm going to make these soundproofing panels out of PVC and insulation. I'm going to make you corner bass traps.
Wait, did he come to Wilmington?
Yeah. So he came up with this idea in New York, right? Amazon worker.
Okay.
Hip hop producer. And he was like, let's pick a date. I'll use my Amazon car, pack all this stuff in, drive down, and we'll build it together. Just on the spot.
Bro is about it, man. Just like about it. So,
yeah.
So he pulls up,
pulls up like a month later, stays at my house for 4 days. We build this studio together in like 3, and he does pretty much everything. Like, so it's kind of funny.
Robbie's just sitting there like, yeah, that looks good.
I was helping him, but like, I mean, the dude is like a savant.
Yeah,
like,
like he knows what he's doing.
He knows everything.
He knows what he's doing.
And
clearly, look at this spot. I mean, this is amazing.
He turned this random bedroom in a townhome into like a legit recording studio.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, I've seen previous podcasts and stuff you've posted from here, and it looks legit. And then I was like, walking up your stairs to your house, I'm like, where is this thing? And we walk in here, it's like Narnia. You come into this different world.
It's crazy.
No, it's sick, man. It's sick.
And
you've been in the house now for what, 3-4 years? Something like 3 years, I guess.
Got it end of 22.
So
2.5.
approaching, yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, up in some equity.
Yeah, definitely up in some equity. So I'm even thinking about that. We'll tackle that later, right? But,
yeah.
No, I'm sure it's going to keep going up. Wilmington's booming.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally insane. I'm sure we'll get into this, but I'm from here. I grew up here, and it's like I can't call Wilmington a town anymore.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, it definitely felt like a town. Yeah, this is.
So talk about that. You're born. Were you born near like Monkey Junction area?
No. So fun story. My dad's family has been in Wilmington since it was founded. Like his great grandfather was, I forget the story, but the vice president of the First Bank of Wilmington. Like they're Wilmingtonians to their core. And then married my mom. They both went to UNCW. So I guess that's a fun fact. Legacy at UNCW.
Legacy UNCW. When was Wilmington founded?
1940 something, probably. No, way before that. 18.
We're about to find out.
I was thinking UNCW when I said
UNCW.
UNCW okay. Is going to be 1940 something.
That's pre-United States.
Yeah, 1947. Yeah, so both my parents went to school at UNC Wilmington. My dad's from here, went to New Hanover High School, but my mom's dad, my grandfather, had a job at a hospital in West Virginia, of all places. And so when my mom was pregnant, they moved to West Virginia. Grandfather ran a hospital. And so I was actually born in Charleston, West Virginia. But
wow.
Yeah. So, I guess that's the wildness of my blood, you could say. But very, very, very quickly, my dad always made the joke that when he married my mom, he had to marry their family and live with them. And, but very, very quickly moved back to Wilmington. Like I went to elementary school in Carolina Beach Elementary. So
were you there until elementary school?
Yeah, until elementary school. And then,
so you got that little West Virginia infusion while you were a toddler.
Yeah. I guess that's my rowdiness is from that. No, but West Virginia is beautiful, man. Gorgeous, gorgeous state, but very glad and thankful to grow up down at the beach.
Where is this?
Yeah, Charleston's going to be the capital. So it's going to be kind of like
right in the middle.
Yeah, middle west kind of.
Yeah.
And it's 8 hours from here. But yeah, so grew up down in Curry Beach, actually, but a lot of people don't know what Curry Beach is. Curry Beach is the southern beach past Carolina Beach, which are the southern beaches of Wilmington.
30 minutes from here.
Yeah. Well, it used to not be that long. Now it'll take you 30, 35 minutes. But when I was a kid, you used to be able to get we call it the island, from the island to downtown, and I'm serious, 15 minutes. And
so just down that strip from Wilmington.
Yeah, so if you zoom in there, you'll see a big old pier. Probably a little north, Curry Beach Pier. Yeah, right there, south. Yeah, so they're right there, Curry Beach Pier. That was my first real job growing up. I'll get into that. And my parents' house is 2-3 blocks behind that. So
wow.
Obviously, when you're a kid, you don't really realize any of that. But looking back now, definitely had one of the coolest childhoods growing up. At the beach, I remember my bus stop was at a beach access. So like we would get home from school and just go to the beach. I think that one thing that my reps probably think I'm weird about is I don't play video games. Like I maybe had like one game console my whole life, but never played it just because, I mean, look where I lived. Like I would never sit inside and just play games. We were always doing something. And back then it was a really small town. Like Curry Beach has one stoplight. So we were riding around the whole island, like having a just bike around the island, whatever, hang out with friends. So really cool childhood. Yeah, Curry Beach Pier, that's a pretty cool story. I guess this kind of segues into the Aptive stuff. Like I've always been a really hard worker, and I think I kind of get that from my parents. Both my parents were in sales, so growing up, like I try to do everything to not be in sales, but I guess it just kind of, it found me.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was a kid, this is probably like, I don't know, 11, 12 years old. I went to my dad and I asked him for something. It was like shoes that I probably didn't need, or clothes that I probably didn't need, or it was just definitely something that like I didn't need. And he was like, well, I'm not going to get you that thing, but I'll go buy you a lawnmower. And you can use that and go and like make money. Right. And I was like, okay, I like that. You know, my dad's a small business owner, entrepreneurship. Right. And so I guess that was kind of my first experience with knocking doors. It was like a 12-year-old going on knocking doors. And I got a little lawn route there in Curry Beach, and kind of paid for some stuff. And then when I was 14, we went and got my, like worker's permit so I could work at the pier. And I got paid $7.25 an hour to scoop ice cream and bag ice and do all
wage.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, I was literally a freshman in high school, would come home and then go work a shift, you know, I was playing basketball at the time. So like and the pier's not really open in the wintertime anyway, but throughout the summertime and the spring, kind of doing that. And then, you know,
so that was early high school, you said?
Yeah, early high school. And I made enough money working at the pier and cutting grass. Again, like I'm 14 years old at this point. To buy my own car when I was 15. I thought that was awesome. And I got like my worker's permit, I got my driving permit the day I turned 15, and I got my license the day I turned 16. So I was like, I thought I was hot shit, right? Yeah. Like I was making money, had my own car that I paid for.
This is the same for me. When you got their license on the day of 16.
Yeah, like that was
everybody
awesome.
In your school, everybody in your class was just like, like when you're the first person with your license. Yeah, that was such a commodity.
Yeah, no, that was all. And I remember like I think I have a lot to thank for my dad for my work ethic. Like he definitely instilled that with me. Like he didn't have the easiest childhood growing up, and you know, growing up, we definitely like did not go without. We had everything that we could ever wanted, but there was no handouts, right? Because he grew up in such a way where he definitely got to this position through hard work, and so he definitely instilled that in my sister and I both. Like my sister's a beast too. Like she's in her last year of med school, like doing rotations. Like she will be a doctor. So hard work ethic in the family. When I got my license, my dad works in the restaurant industry. He like sells restaurant equipment and does stuff like that. And so he got me interviewed at a restaurant, and then I started working 2 restaurant jobs. And I had a job at a pancake house in the morning, and I would go work in a nice Italian restaurant in the evening called Freddy's, down in Curry Beach. And so going into my second year at UNCW, like I was used to the grind. Yeah. Like the grind was nothing. Like I remember being a teenager in the summertime. This was my summer that I lived. I'd be up at 6 because I had to be at the pancake house at like 6:30. I'd work there till 1 or 2, come home and literally nap for an hour at the Italian restaurant at 4:30, and I'd work there till 10, 11 o'clock at night, back up at 6 to the pancake house. And dude, I made like 10 grand in the summertime as like a 17, 18-year-old kid doing that, which back then, like that was like crazy good money. Yeah. Right. And so when Wyatt first approached me about Aptive when I was a sophomore at UNCW, like I was all about it because I was just like looking for that next step. Like I wasn't scared to work hard. Obviously you've known me for a while, not scared to talk to people. And so I was like, I just thought it was the best thing ever. My parents didn't. So I think everyone kind of has a story like that where, you know, they find Aptive or whatever it is, and they tell your parents, and your parents are like, look at you like you're crazy. Like no way. I think that they were so taken back because I had made a point that I definitely like did not want to get into sales at this point. Mm-hmm. I was a big math and science kid. I'll get into this, but I have a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and a cluster in my sciences. And so that was like, for me to go do like this sales job was like super out of left field to them. But also I signed for Altera in November of 2015. And we were going to go sell in Baltimore.
That was during your sophomore year?
Yeah. Yeah, this is my sophomore year at this point at UNCW. And you guys can Google it, but 2015 in Baltimore, there was like a lot of political unrest, like a lot of like race riots and stuff like that. And so like I had explained to them, and I think a lot of people do, it's like when we say we're going to this market, we're not like in like the inner city. Like we're in like the nice suburbs outside of this. And I remember it wasn't weird at the time, but now that this is my 10th summer at Aptive, we never went into the city one time during the summertime, which was weird because that's like one of the cool parts about selling is like you get to experience these cities. And so they were super uneasy about that, right? And then just being away from home and all this stuff. And they're like, no, you're not going to do that. You can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I gave my dad my sales pitch, and he was like, he kind of told me like, hey man, like I'm not going to tell you to not do this. Like you're your own man. Like you got to figure this out. But I don't know if they were super convinced on me doing it. And then there's the whole story. I don't even know if we want to get into this. Only a few people know about this, about me actually getting like let go before I went out and sold my first year. Do you know about that story at all?
Let's tell them.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't really talk about this much. So a lot of the OGs know about this, but, so shout out Damon Lilly. I mean, arguably one of the most influential people in my life, great friend, and probably like one of my biggest mentors to this point in my life. But he really recruited me and brought me over. And then Christian Lilly too, who I've tons of, Christian Ludwig.
Ludwig, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Between Damon and Christian, I think they recruited like 100 people or something crazy, right? Their first year at Aptive. And this was my first year. I guess it was Christian's second, right? And, Vess and I guess Dave at the point was like, that's awesome, but we're not about to let 100 people or whatever it was come and sell without vetting these people. Like you guys recruited.
Vess and Dave being Dave Royce, the founder of Aptive, Vess Pearson, the current CEO of Aptive.
Yeah. And I remember my first, kind of my second
Which
year.
was Altera back then, by the way. So
yeah, this was like Altera days.
Altera was Aptive, previous iteration, previous name.
Yeah. And Altera switched to Aptive, I think in December of 2015. I'd already been signed on for like a month or so. And they just told me that my shirt would say Aptive on it instead of Altera. And I was like, okay, whatever, no big deal.
Got it.
I'll fix my approach. Simple. And so they're like, yeah, you guys recruited so well, but we want to come vet these people. And so they flew Vess out, and then Derek, Dave's brother.
Yeah.
And they interviewed all of us. And I don't know, like I think that I was just getting done with an exam or something, and I was just sleep deprived, or I don't know. But basically my interview just went terrible. Like I think I volunteered to give my pitch, and to Derek, and it just like was all over the place. And keep in mind, like I think that like I'm a very refined version of myself at this point. Like I have so much to accredit Aptive to just like who I've became as a person and a man. Like me before I did Aptive, like I'm the surfer skater, hair down to my shoulders, like college kid. And so like I definitely didn't have that look, right? Like back then the industry was dominated by a lot of like LDS people, which I was super cool about. Another fun fact, half my family's LDS. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So like my grandfather is not LDS, my dad's dad. And then his brother, shout out Uncle Chad, his whole side of the family is Mormon. And so like all my cousins growing up were LDS. So I was super familiar with the culture and all that stuff. Yeah, I just didn't fit the mold. Like I was not the average summer sales college kid. And so I remember after all the interviews, apparently Derek and Vess said, hey, Damon and Christian, we're super impressed by the quality of people that you guys have. You guys are going to have a great summer, all this stuff. However, there's these 3 people that it went, I forgot what the language was, but basically like you'd be hurting them by letting them to come and sell.
3, huh?
Yeah.
You're one of 3.
And so you can imagine there's 2 scrubs and me. The 3rd scrub. No. Yeah. And so, but then Damon, like, dude, that was the first time Damon went to bat for me, like big time. And he was like, you guys don't get it. Like, this kid doesn't miss a beat. I was at every training. I still have my notebook. I'll have to show it to you guys from my rookie year where I wrote down every single note that was ever taken. Like, I was front row at every meeting, every training, every word that was said. Like, I don't think there was anyone going into our first year that was more prepared than I was. And so, like, I definitely had more time spent than anyone at this training and stuff. And so Damon went to bat for me, got me approved. They were like, all right, well, if this kid comes out and suck, it's kind of on you. And then there was the whole, like, and we can talk about this because it's literally been a decade. There's the whole, like, Vantage debacle where all of them were going to go and sell for Terminex. And then, you know, Vess has his story how he just deaded that so quick, like flew to North Carolina, was walking around campus, talking to college kids, like trying to find any Aptive rep. And when he tells that story, like, I'm the kid that he found on campus and was like, hey, don't go and do that. Like, why would you switch up? And at this point, no offense to Damon, but like me and Damon didn't have like a super big relationship to this point. And so like I had been training with Taylor Brown and them. And so like I respected Damon a ton. And obviously he did the big favor by letting me stay around. But at this point, like I had the CEO of Aptive who is like, that's like a superhero in my head, just telling me, hey, don't go with them, stay with us. And obviously like I'm a smart enough guy to realize Damon and them were probably moving them over because it might have been better for them. And when I looked at it, you know, on paper, like Aptive was the clear choice. Like there's nowhere else that I wanted to work. And so, you know, it was really cool because I think I kind of had a rookie experience that a lot of people don't get where I had this relationship with Vess my rookie year, which kind of put like the extra magnifying glass on me from them wanting to get rid of me to having that whole situation. Long story made short, we got everyone back over. Like that whole thing was maybe a 10-day debacle that got like just
10 days.
Yeah. Like it was super quick. Like I think Damon was like, hey, we're going to go sell for Terminex. Vess was there like 2 days later. Within a week and a half, everyone was like Aptive with a smile on their face.
Nice.
So yeah, that got smoothed over. So then I went out my first summer. And this is also something I really tell people, and completely lucky and coincidental and all this stuff. But I actually sold the very first door I ever knocked on. Now, granted, if I wasn't trained and prepared, I would have never been able to close the door. Right. But I remember I was shadowing on with Taylor Brown. That's also a little fun fact. I sold on shout out Taylor Brown and what is Collective now.
Uncle Tay.
Yeah, Uncle Tay and Kev. Kev was our regional manager. And but through all the series of everything that happened, Taylor like always stayed in touch with me. And actually, old throwback name, Jordan Lampreck, he did like all my trainings. And so I ended up selling on Taylor's team that first year.
Okay.
So I wasn't on Damon's team. I wasn't on Christian's team. Taylor was our team leader. Wyatt was on that team too. So was Kyle McCullough. So that's fun. Me, Wyatt, and Kyle were all rookies the same year.
With Taylor?
Taylor Brown was the team leader. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you, Kyle McCullough, and Wyatt Janning.
Connor Forth too.
Connor Forth.
Yeah, that was our squad.
That was a power team.
And I mean, there was other people
led by
too.
Taylor Brown.
Led by Taylor Brown.
What year was that for Taylor in the industry?
His fourth.
His fourth summer.
This if I'm doing math right, I think this is his 14th summer. But I believe Taylor, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I believe it was his fourth. Yeah, and that year actually, Brendan Yockey, who I think was a Connor Ruggiero, I believe, downline, they actually merged with our team halfway in. And so tons of LDS people on our team. And it was like, but then me, Wyatt, Connor, and Kyle with just eagered and green behind the ears and ready to go sell some bug spray.
So this was Baltimore.
This was Baltimore. Okay. This is that year. We'll have to add some clips of us going crazy in it or whatever. But that was like that team, man, that summer. It obviously like set the stages for my decade-long career here. But yeah, amazing experience. And you know, I talk about selling my first door, and it was funny. Taylor had to hop on like a team leader call, like a weekly call or something. He was like, "All right, go rip." It was me and this kid named Brian Christoph, that were shadowing Taylor at the time. And so we just go walk up and I go, "Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?" He goes, "You go first." I knock the door, get through the approach. The guy says something like, "What do you do for ants?" or something like that. And I just like, I knew exactly what to do. Like it just worked. Like it literally went the way that I trained for it. Like, yeah, there was objections at the end. Yeah, I had to get through the presenting the agreement, doing all that stuff, but it worked, closed it, done. And I just remember, and I tell reps this all the time when I'm hiring them, like my first impression of this job was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people's first impressions, like you hear, you know, Dave Royce, the little owner, like what is he, bageled 5 days in a row or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, he ended up creating Aptive or like, you know, Altera and all that stuff. And not to say it never works out like that, but I tell people all the time, like that preparation is huge. Like if you can hit the ground running, like if you can make sales your first day, like your perception of this whole thing is going to be 10 times better, but you're only able to do that if you prepare before the summer. So like, not to say that people can't get to that finish line, but you know, going in there, being able to make sales day one versus not making sales your first 3 days just because one person prepared and the other one didn't, is like a world of a difference. And
to be clear, you can prepare and that can still happen to you. So
100%.
If you're in that position, that's also normal. Well, I wouldn't say no sales the first 3 days is normal. I would say that's actually more of an anomaly if you're well prepared, but it can still happen, right? But your point is taken 100%. Yeah. Preparation before and hitting the ground running, huge difference. You with that combination of luck and preparation on that first door, probably painted your first week and kind of your whole experience a little bit.
100%. And kind of going back to what you're saying, I see it every year where somebody prepares a ton, but maybe is like lacking, not confidence, but like closing ability and maybe social awareness. And then someone who doesn't prepare as much, but is just like a super, like get after it, eager, confident, high enthusiastic person goes out and sells way more their first week. But I think like once both those reps get through the learning curve, typically it's like whoever's going to work harder.
It equalizes.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my first impression of the job. Sold my first day. I think we started on like a Wednesday or Thursday. Wyatt's a lot better at tracking these stats, so we could fact check this with him. But I did 9 my first half week or whatever it was, 14 my second full week, 19 my third full week, and then 21 like the fourth week I was out there. And I remember Taylor, we had won our cup match, and Taylor came to me and was like, "Dude, you service 20 in a week." And I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, cool. I was like, "Do I get anything?" He's like, "Yeah, you get a hat." It's like, awesome. And then after that, I averaged over a 20 week every single week my rookie year. I sold for 12 weeks from May 16th to August 10th, and did right around 230 accounts. So literally basically averaged a 20 week my rookie year, and was the top rookie, not just on my team, but was the top rookie in the whole region we worked with. Tyler Tomlinson sold that year too, and he ended up with a little bit more than I did. He stayed out a little bit longer, but we're also in different regions technically, right? With the Damon Christian thing. So it's like me and Tyler were kind of back and forth. And my claim to fame that rookie year is I actually wasn't just the top rookie, but I was the top rep on that team. Like I sold more than all the team leaders and all the experienced reps, including Brendan and all his guys too. So
we have a big rookie year. It matters. We had similar rookie years, and definitely gives you a lot of confidence to be that guy on your rookie team.
Yeah. And I mean, I was hooked. Like me, Kyle, Wyatt, we were all hooked. Like they were like, "This is awesome." You know, it was such an amazing experience. So much so, this is a good story. I I call my mom, right? Because back then the team leader trip was 250 and there's no if, ands, or buts. Yeah, that's like right after our rookie year. And that was all the people that did well.
There's the hair.
So yeah, let's go. This is pretty crazy. Let's look at that. We got Taylor Brown, far left. Caleb Connors, I think he's in security now. Mitch is selling with my guys this year. Super stoked for Mitch. Hopefully he has a massive year. Tyler Tonson himself, Christian, Joel, really good friend of mine, and then obviously Damon and Kenny. And Kenny was on that team that rookie year too. So not to give Kenny no love, he was like an experienced rep on that team that first year too. And then me in the middle.
Outsold him though.
Yeah. Actually sold more than Kenny and Wyatt put together. So
little dig.
Yeah. Keep that in there. So anyway, this picture amazes me. I love this picture because there's 10 of us, not even. And now when we take our Utah picture 10 years later, how many people do you think will be in that picture? 200?
Yeah, I was going to say over 120, 150.
150? Yeah. So it's that's the origin story. So yeah, I guess, I don't want to go summer by summer, but just to kind of, let me finish that one story. So yeah, 250 was the team leader trip. If you want to go on the team, I think it was even the first X amount of people that hit it, got it or something. Maybe that was the second year. I don't know. But 250 was a team leader trip. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I wanted to go to Hawaii. I was like, what the heck? Even though I had done right at it in 12 weeks. And I think the normal West Coast Utah summer was 16 weeks. And so I remember Kevin flying in and they're like, dude, you're going to be a team leader next year. And I was like, I don't know. What does that mean? They're like, well, you got to recruit. We got to build a team around you. And I was like, I can't do that. I was like, y'all didn't even think I could sell in the first fire. And so I think I kind of had that fire too. If you guys know me, I'm super competitive. I rarely ever get in arguments. I think my wife, this drives her crazy, but I don't raise my voice, rarely ever. But the only time I've really gotten into people was over a game of pickup basketball. So I'm uber competitive. That you can get a reaction out of me if we're competing some type of way. And so them telling me that I wasn't going to be able to sell my first year kind of fueled the fire. So anyway, they wanted me to come back as a team leader, but I wanted to hit 250, all this stuff. So I call my mom, Mom, I'm not going back to school next semester. She goes, what do you mean? I was like, I'm this close to hitting team leader. She goes, Daniel, I don't know what that means. And she drove up to Baltimore and was at our apartment complex that Monday and took me back to school. Made me go back to school. So then, so I'm 20 years old at this point. I was 19 when I signed paperwork, but at the end of the summer, I was 20 years old at this point. And I was growing and building teams. And, when they said, who do you think could come and do this? The first name that I had in my mind was Bruce Long. So shout out Bruce. I just knew he was going to be good at this job. And so I'm reaching out to Bruce and I'm reaching out to all these other people trying to build this team. And I was one of the, I don't know if this is true, but somebody told me this at the time. I was one of the youngest team leaders they had ever had, because typically the people who've done this job previous, again, LDS, they could be on a mission, right? So they go to school.
Yeah, they don't start until they're 20.
Well, sometimes they'll start when they're 18, but then they go on a 2-year mission. By the time their rookie year comes around and they're in team leader, they're almost normally.
And most people don't hit team leader their first year.
Yeah, exactly.
Vast majority.
And so most of the team leaders at Aptive at 22, 23 years old, and I was 20 years old, just had a great rookie summer and was super eager to recruit.
Did they let you go to team leadership?
No. The ones, this is another little claim to fame. Damon got the 178 thing. Was if you did 178 in 12 weeks, you could do it. That was because of me, because I went out and did whatever in that period of time.
And they wanted to change the
they wanted to make, because we had shorter summers. How are we supposed to do that over a 12-week summer, right? Or 14-week summer if we really pushed it.
Yeah, I mean, I did, but yeah.
You did 250 in 14 weeks.
305 and 12.
And really?
Yeah. Rookie year, baby.
Remind me to get your autograph when we're done with this. No, but okay. So yeah, recruit a full team. This is this is a big learning lesson for me. I say a full team. We finished with 16 reps my second year. Okay. It was me, 13 of my, actually, Yeah. There might have been 17 reps. Me, 13 of my reps, and I think Wyatt had two of his own rookies on that team. So I think there's 17 reps total.
Year 2, first year as a TL.
Yeah.
20 years old.
20 years old. And like this, like Wyatt had a great summer his second year, but again, he only did like 130-ish something accounts. Might have been closer to 140. He has all these stats dialed. We'd have to go back and look. And so like he came in definitely as like a pillar position, but it was very clear like I was running the team. Like it was the majority of my reps. And Wyatt's big thing, I don't know if this was them pushing him or what, but he just wanted to have a massive selling year. Like, remember when they used to do those little articles, like on Monday, they'd write up something and they'd give shout outs and stuff. Like I remember they did, the whole company did one on Wyatt, and he was like the door-to-door cyborg. And he was just like so dialed in that year. Like he would be like first one out of meeting, like skip lunch breaks. And I remember at the end of the year when we wanted Bruce to hit team leader when he came real close, we made him ride with Wyatt, and we called it the Wyatt diet. And hit it. And so that was an amazing, I learned so much that year, because managing all your close friends are tough. Like the kids that I sold with my first year were like my best friends. Like they were guys that I knew in high school. They were guys that I had met in college, and that was tough. Like kind of have that relationship, leadership. And I was just young. I'll tell you, I was one of the youngest people on that team, but I was the leader.
Right.
Like a lot of the guys that were on there were actually like 2-3 years older than me.
Looking back now, talking to the people that are in that position right now, if you're going out and doing summer sales this year and you've recruited some friends, and maybe it's your first time leading or second year leading, whatever it is, and you still have to work with friends. Well, you get to, which is cool.
Yeah. But I love that part. Like we pick our work atmosphere. Everyone talks about how they hate their coworkers. The beauty of making your own organization in summer sales is you literally pick your coworkers.
Literally hand select.
Like if I don't like I just won't hire that guy.
Right.
Or I'll just get rid of him.
Yeah. There's no fair hiring act.
Well, it's not as fair. It's like we're building this thing. Like it's our own businesses. Like if we don't have to bring people that we don't want to work with.
That's right. What advice would you give those people from the lessons you learned that year? You said it's hard. What would you say?
Like don't blur the lines. Like you want to be there on a personal relationship with them, but you need to make sure it's professional, because if not, they're just going to walk over you. Like, oh, like Daniel's not going to care, right? He's my buddy. And so it's like, and now it's like, dude, I won't go. It's been like this for a while, but like that first summer taught me a lot. Not like we weren't like doing anything bad or anything like that, but like now, like I won't go out with my reps. Like Saturday night, like I don't do any of that stuff with them, just because over the summertime, I'm going to be super professional. And then I tell them I'll be their best friend in the off season. So it's like they get like kind of a hard ass version of me in the summertime. And then I tell you, like whatever it means to you, I'll make it up to you tenfold in the off season, and we'll have the most fun in the world. But during the summer, it's like we got to stay locked in. So that was great. Doubled my income that second year, and at this point, I think I made like right under between $80,000 and $90,000 that second summer. And keep in mind, I'm 21 years old at this point, and I'm doing this just between school, and so this was unreal. And I kind of knew school was on the back burner at that point. And that's how I ended up getting the math degree. After my sophomore year, after my first summer, I went to my advisor and I went to them and I said, what's the quickest way I can graduate? Like, screw it. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought I was going to be an engineer, but like all this stuff. What's the quickest way I can graduate? They looked at all my credits. They said math degree. I was like, done. We'll do it. I took all my APs and maths and calcs and stats and doubled up on maths. My freshman year, just because math was always my best subject. And fun fact, I actually got nominated. It popped up on my memories the other day on my Snapchat. I got nominated for a scholarship in the math department because I was like one of the highest in the class, and I didn't even apply for it. Like they pulled me out of class and gave me a letter, like the head of the department, and they said like, your grades or your performance, blah, blah, we want you to be on the scholarship. I didn't even apply for it because I didn't take the math degree that serious, like
way out.
Yeah. Like after making when I was making six figures between the summer semesters, I knew I wasn't going to go do anything with that math degree.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you'd count your Aptive money.
That's my joke. Right. And so like going into my senior,
both math guys, by the way, both of us. So that's good.
Really? Yeah.
That was always my favorite
guys.
thing.
Yeah.
I took calculus in college just for fun. It wasn't even part of my business course. I just liked it.
Yeah.
Math was fun.
My college classes were crazy because like by my senior year, I think I had done Calc 3 and Diffie Q by the end of my freshman year.
I was about to say, math degree is tough. Like that's a lot.
We're doing like number theory and stuff like that. Like theoretical math is just, I don't know. I look at like, I have this whiteboard in my basement of stuff that we were studying for my math final my senior year. And I can't even follow it.
Different language.
I can't even follow it anymore.
When people see Billy D making D's nuts jokes in the morning meeting, they don't think that he was doing Diffie Q freshman year of college.
Yeah. But okay, so here's a funny thing. My reps like beat me up because I am probably the worst speller that you've ever seen in your life. And Jackson is always in the conference room when I'm doing my trainings. He'll tell you I have the worst handwriting like that you could ever imagine. And so when I'm not they were doing this stuff to be funny. When I'm not there and they're running like the morning meetings, they'll like purposely misspell stuff on the board and they're like, come on guys, we gotta do the morning meeting like how Daniel does it. And so yeah, I that's my joke is, hey, I got a math degree, don't beat me up on spelling. So
remember that?
Yeah. We could integrate that. So I, great experience going in my third year. This is actually a pretty cool story. Blew up 36 reps, just me. Wyatt went, did his own thing. Okay. So that's also kind of my joke is that our second year, I was Wyatt's team leader and our third year, he was my divisional. But yeah, no, me and Wyatt has like I think we probably have the best working relationship maybe of any two people at Aptive. Like that's my bro.
Yeah. But to be fair, in the beginning, there might have been a little bit of like strife
for sure
and there was maybe some back and forth, some macho like challenge whose boss is who, because who recruited who, and it kind of all started at the same time, and that's cool to be real about that.
Yeah And I think after my first year I didn't actually understand I was under Wyatt. Like I understand like recruiting was like a thing, and so it was like I went and really outperformed this guy. Then I had the impression that I was his team leader, and then he like became my divisional. Like, okay, all right, like that's how it is. But that's just a lot of immaturity too. Like you gotta think, like we started doing this when I was 19, 20, 21 years old. Like there's a lot of egos in there and stuff like that too. Like, it hasn't been like that for years. That was definitely, if there was any of that, and I'm not saying there never wasn't, it faded very quick. Like by the fourth year, like me and Wyatt have been working in parallels and side by side. Very well.
He's earned it, right? That's
dude. He's a stud.
If somebody wasn't bringing the value, and
that's where it is. It's value. Like when you see people complain about upper level leadership in this industry, it's because they believe that the value of the money that person's might be making off of a downline is not as good as the value that person's bringing. Mm-hmm. But when the value that person's bringing surpasses any amount of money that they could be making off reps, mm-hmm. It's a great relationship. Like I have reps that, I might make $5,000, $10,000 off of a rep, but they know I bring them $50,000 of value. And that's how I look at Wyatt. Like I can't put a dollar sign on the amount of value he's being able to bring, his friendship, leadership, what he adds to the culture. Okay. Like there's no amount of money that could compensate the value that he brings to this organization. And so that's why there's no animosity.
Right.
But if there ever is animosity in an organization, it's because they believe the money someone's making does not match the value they're providing. But when that value surpasses it, there's no issues ever. So
100%.
36 reps my third summer, and wanted to jump off of a bridge. No kidding. But that was insane, right? Like I'm 22 years old, managing 30 something people, and it just like we still did great. I made 6 figures that summer. Like, you know, when it was all said and done, it was awesome. It was just like.
Was that KC?
Philadelphia.
Okay. Year
Philadelphia.
4 was KC.
So then we go back to KC. Okay. So it was like Baltimore, KC, Philly, going Baltimore or KC. And this is like, if you're an up and coming leader or maybe even experienced leader, this right here is the gold mine. I bring out half the amount of reps. Half. And that was our
16, 17.
Something like that, yeah. And we went to Final Four Cup and we did way more revenue with half the amount of reps. And the PRA on that team was like 176 or 177 accounts per rep. It was crazy. And like the experience of being on a team like that. And then there was a whole thing. It was like the week that we lost the cup, we lost it to this one team. I'm not going to mention names. You guys can figure it out. And we would have beat every other team that was playing in the cup that week. And then when it was all said and done, we find out that team was actually knocking like blacked out trailer park areas, speaking Spanish to people and selling one-time accounts. So it's like, we felt like we got cheated out that year. But like that year, like we had a team, like Kevin Maynard had that Portland team that I think still holds records and numbers for like highest production team. We beat them in the cup. So it was like, our team was good that year.
Throwing down.
Yeah, it was like probably the best team I've ever been a part of. From a production, from a, you know, what we called PRA, per rep average standpoint.
Right. So those teams are so fun.
Dude, it was awesome.
When you're on that team that's
especially
just throwing
from
down.
The year before where I was just like, so I never knew this about myself. I get stress ulcers. Like if I get too stressed out, I rarely get them anymore because I know how to handle my stress. Like that's been something that this job has taught me. But like if I allow myself to get too stressed out, I'll literally get like ulcers in my mouth. And I think that's like the big guy upstairs telling me to calm down. Like, because I can't talk with ulcers in my mouth. And if I can't talk, there's not a lot that I can do in summer sales, right? Like you can't go and pitch people pest control or lead a morning meeting if you can't even speak.
Dive into that. Why were you so stressed? What stressed you out? What could you have done differently?
I mean, I think that you learn stuff, how to do stuff the right way and how to do stuff the wrong way. And the only way to do that is to figure it out, right? And it was just learning, man. Like I was learning, like first year I learned sales. Second year I learned recruiting, a little bit of leadership. And that third year taught me a lot. Okay. It taught me a lot. And I think that if it wasn't for, and I don't want to make it sound like that third year was like so terrible or anything like that. I was just like overwhelmed. Like I was just doing what I could to keep my head above the water, managing 30 people, again, my age or older or younger. I'm 22 years old. So
in the life of a team leader, right? Like wake up.
Yeah.
You get ready for the morning meeting, answer a flurry of texts, finish area for the day, assigning area, go to the morning meeting early, do the morning meeting, try to be the first one out on the doors. You're getting calls the whole time. Try to be the top seller on the team the first half of the day. You have people that need to move area. You have route problems. You have police problems sometimes.
Yeah. No,
do that. Try to go to lunch. Trying to keep a relationship with your family or your significant other.
Yeah.
Then you got to go out and
was living with me at the time. She came to Philly and we had our own apartment. So there's all that. Like my girlfriend moves in with me. I think that was actually the first time we officially like moved in together. So there was like, dude, it was all that.
Yeah.
And it was, dude, Philadelphia, when you got there in May, I remember the first like 3 weeks we're out there, it was like rainy and 40 degrees.
Right.
And we didn't have permits. And Philly sucks with permits. I was going after the doors back to shout out Josh Decker. Like he was a superstar. But that was back when the branch managers had to do everything. He was answering phone calls, like was the CLS, sending routes out, doing all the OM stuff. And I would go back after the doors at 10 o'clock at night and do permits with them until 11 or midnight. And we didn't have permits. So I was like sending my rep. We didn't know any better. So we show up there, can't knock anywhere, raining, 40 degrees. I'm sending all these 30 reps off the side of highways to go knock. But the beauty of it, Robbie, they didn't know any different.
Right.
Like I still have memories of them knocking houses with cows in the backyard, like rural Pennsylvania stuff, like highway stuff. And we were selling, like they didn't know any difference. And so that taught me something. So going in that fourth year, I got all my experience reps together and I was like, listen, the rookies will only know what you show them. And so if you're a leader, do this meeting, get all your experience together in a huddle, experience reps together in a huddle and be like we have to create the paradigm. because the rookies just come into this and they don't know what to expect, and whatever it is what it is. Like if you have a group that's slack, the rookies are going to slack. If you have a group that knocks till 10 o'clock at night, I don't know if a rookie will knock till 10, but I guarantee you they're not getting off the doors at 8. Right? And so it's like you can kind of like mold that culture, create it with the experienced reps, and everyone's just like kind of winking. Like I remember like the short lunches or the full day Saturdays or all the stuff that we were doing in 2019 before that was a popular thing. Like me and the other experienced reps would look at each other like, rookies weren't doing this stuff last year, but they did it this year.
You just literally make it up and then you do it, and then that's the reality now.
Yeah. So great experience. I mean, meanwhile, I'm scaling my income each year and each year. That summer, 2019, the summer was the first I bought my house that we still live in now, before that summer in April of 2019. And so I'm already starting to invest, already starting to do all this stuff.
So you get your first property after summer 3, right before summer 4.
Right before I graduated college. Yeah. So that's another little tidbit. I bought my first house while I was still in school. I also got at the end of that summer, I got a letter. I got audited for my 2018 taxes, which was probably the most scary time of my life. It ended up working all good, but it taught me a lot of good lessons. But
I remember this, by the way. I was a rookie that year.
I got audited by the government.
I remember coming into the Wilmington office because I still lived just in Chapel Hill. Yeah. And I was a senior that year. And I came for a Wilmington training, and I remember seeing you with this giant binder.
Yes.
When you were getting audited, and you had to go back through and create this huge binder and organize all your tax information. And I didn't really know you, but I just remember seeing that. Dude,
and that kind of goes back to one of those things that like sucks in the moment, but like mold you for the rest of your life. Like I'm so glad that happened to me, because it's like all of it is just like so much more dialed now, because like how crappy that was in the moment. Like I never wanted to go through that again. And so like I made sure that going forward, like for our taxes and, finances and all that stuff was dialed and locked in. But long story made short, they said it was a random audit, but it was like, there's this kid full-time in school, 18-hour course credits, buys a car, a boat, and a house all in the same year. He claimed 6 figures on his taxes. So it was like, what is this kid doing? And so we went through the whole audit, sit down audit. It's like a 3-hour thing. I'll never forget this. The guy's name is Ben Barber. Okay. Like I could, you don't forget any detail, stuff like that. And when it was all said and done, dude, shout out my guy, Jake. Like, my accountant is the man. Like I've used the same accountant for 10 years, but when it was all said and done, I got a $68 refund check. So the taxes were done better than they should have been done. So, there was that. So yeah. That year, we did Thailand, was that our team leader trip? Mm-hmm. And so I think that's the year we the group started to get a big momentum. Like I had a huge summer. We're doing stuff like going to Thailand. Like I think before that we were like Jamaica or like Bahamas cruise. So so
that was after my rookie year, the team leader trip. If you hit a certain number over the summer, we still do this obviously to this day. But it was like, we're going to Thailand, and I was like, bro, during my senior year of college, I'm going to be able to just take 8 days off and just go to Thailand. Yeah. I was like, there's no way I'm not hitting that. Yeah. Yeah. And so that was so fun. Yeah. That was probably still my favorite TL trip.
Well, because I remember it was like, normally we go there for like 5 or 7 days. Like we were I felt like 2 weeks.
Yeah. We were there for like maybe 12 days.
Yeah. Like literally, I think it was 2 weeks, but the travel days, I think we were in like Phuket in the PP Islands for 12 days or something. So
I remember like settling into like a life there.
So it's like I
live here.
Yeah, it's like I graduate college, I know I'm gonna marry the girl that I'm with. I'm making great money at Aptive. I'm traveling. Like I just bought a house. Like I'm on top of the world at this point in my life. And COVID hits, right? And then COVID hits, and there's a lot of uncertainty and like what we can and can't do. I was supposed to go to New York that year, but with COVID, we all had to go to southern markets. I don't know if you remember that. Like
I didn't, but I started in Tampa. Yeah. And I was in Chicago.
Okay. So you got to Chicago. I remember I was supposed to go to White Plains that year, and they're like, yeah, you're not knocking in New York during COVID, ain't a shot. And so they send 5 teams to Fort Worth. Meanwhile, I am coming off of the biggest summer I've ever had. And I think that I kind of got a reputation for being a decent enough team leader. And so I had a bunch of other people that wanted to work with us. We pulled like George, who works with us now. Brian Jang, when he was still here, he came and sold on our team that year. Tyson Pearson came and sold on the team. We had Willie Q, shout out. He was top rookie that year, whatever you want to call it. And so like we had like these crazy heavy hitter sellers on that team. And dude, we had multiple 100+ days in a row. Like the team sold over 100 in a day.
That's
like
wild.
Tyson would do 18, Brian would do 15, I would do 12. Like it was insane. And like, dude, like I said, it was all momentum. This is actually a pretty cool thing. My last week, my four summer, I did a 40 week. I'd never done a 40 week. And then my first week, my 5th summer, 40 week.
Wow.
And so it's like, we were just like, that time of my life, we were just riding on a high. Mm-hmm. And I remember we were selling so much, like on that team, we were selling so much. Vess calls me because we're booking 4 days out because there's 5 teams in Fort Worth and my team's selling 80 to 100 a day. Okay. Which is insane. Like, I wish we could do that now in these years. Like, can you imagine if we could do 100K in a day on a team?
Well, we focused a lot on sold back then.
Oh, we were slinging. Bring initials? Cool. Let's do it, baby. And retention reflects that. So anyway,
right.
Yeah, Vess calls me and was like, hey, like the route situation is dumb. And your team is selling the most. Like, I need you to move to Phoenix. I was like, dude, I don't want to go to Phoenix. Because I think Kyle had sold there the year before and Mike had sold there. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but Phoenix in June and July it's just like not a desirable place to be. And this is the time of the year it was, like into June, going into July. He's like, I just need you to do it. And like when the CEO calls you, this guy that I had a great relationship with, right? Remember the story of the first year, you just do it. So we picked up our full team.
Around average 106 to 108 degrees.
Dude, the crazy thing is it'd be 8, 9 o'clock at night and it'd be 100 degrees. Like, it is wild. Yeah, it's so wild. Crazy. But guys, I'm sure that everyone knows this because I know a lot of people are moving there. Arizona is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Like we got out to Phoenix and we felt like we were like in LA. Like, I don't know. I was just like not expecting it. Like, you see palm trees and all this stuff. And it's gorgeous. It's like great place to live. Amazing place to live. Sucks for knocking doors in the summertime. And so that kind of put a damper on our team. There was like some integrity issues with us just like trying to sell as much as sells and, with really just like 1 or 2 reps. And that kind of like brought down the morale because like me and like my core people, like Bruce and all of them, like we just like weren't about that. So there was like some button, some heads there. And we come back to Texas and we ended up finishing the summer and it was all good. Like we did well over 4,000 accounts that year. Maybe closer to 5. I know it's like 4,500 at least.
Summer 5.
Summer 5, yeah.
How many reps did you have?
Bruce had his own team that year. That's a great question. 40, probably. Maybe a little bit less. Okay. Yeah. But Bruce had his own team that year. That was Bruce's first year team leading by himself. And yeah, I mean, that went great. He made good money. I made good money.
So this is your first year.
Dude, meanwhile, Bruce is doing like all these, when I'm telling you these summers, like summer 4, 5, 6, Bruce is doing like 500-600 accounts every summer. Right. He's like slinging. Like he's kind of doing his own thing. Just like absolutely
Was
ripping.
that your first year leading a team and having a team led by somebody else that you're responsible for?
Correct. That was my first year with multiple teams. Okay. And that went great. Like it went great. Like I think that like after my third summer, I really filled my shoes well. Like I was growing, I was developing, I was learning. Like my reps, great relationships with all of them. And I love it. I still get phone calls like to this day of reps that I haven't talked to in 3, 4, 5 years, and was like, "Hey Daniel, like the impact that those summers made on me was like life changing." And it's like that's so rewarding for me, right? Like I love that. Even the reps that aren't with us anymore, just like talk so good about it, right? And send us people. And I'm at the point now of my career where I've had reps like leave, go do other things, and then come back. And like I love that too. So yeah, things were on the up and up. That next year, 2021, we do get to go to White Plains. And
it's year 6.
Year 6. And that was my best selling year. Okay, that was like I was ready. At this point, I was like, I want to make a statement. I think that the most, I'd done like 300 accounts multiple years in a row. And I was never really, always led good teams, I guess, but never was like really known from like everyone knew that I could sell well. Like my rookie year, my biggest day was 13. Mm-hmm. And I had other double digits days and my rookie year and did every summer. But like, I wanted to make a statement like, hey, like I'm not just like a one day pony. Like I can do the summer long thing. And so New York, we don't get out there till the middle of May. And, I sell for like 14 weeks but for 10 weeks, 10 consecutive weeks in a row, I do over a 30 week. So over 30, 10 weeks in a row. And so I think between those 10 weeks, I was like right under 400 accounts. I finished the summer right shy of 450. But 10 of those weeks I did 30 weeks in a row, and that was with traveling. So Bruce's team was in Ohio. I miss a full day for flying out there, still service 30 that week. So, it was amazing. That was the first year that I really had my own personal truck. And I think that was what it was. They told me that I could have a truck because they knew I could sell well, but I lost it if I did less than 30 in a week. So I knew I had to do at least 30 to keep the truck. And
there's a lot of lessons in there though. So that's like one of the reasons I think your people and your teams were flourishing was because easily could make an excuse that you're traveling and like 30 is impossible. I'm traveling. I'm missing a day. Right. But your guys see you do that. And that's the most important part.
And I was traveling because they were struggling. Like they were trying to hit me with you can't make sales in this market. So like I get off of a flight and sell 8 the next day in that market. And so I think that, I mean, guys, if you're an up and coming leader in this company or just anything, like lead from the front, man. Like that's why we don't have sales managers at Aptive. Be a leader. Like how are you expecting them to go do stuff if they don't see you go out there and get dirty? Okay. Like you got to have the sweat equity into it. Like they got to see you like blood, sweat, and tears into this. And if they don't, like if your reps think that you're just like texting them all day to work harder from the couch, like they're not going to be incentivized to go out and do it. Right. And so, yeah, lead from the front. Yeah, that summer was great. New York was amazing. Bruce ended up doing pretty well that summer too. We had a lot of growth, like the Adrian, Joel, Jesse, like all those people, that downline was like created there. I'm trying to think who else. Like this is John Sullivan's second or third year. Tuck's been ripping for a while. Dylan has left and came back. Dylan did 250K that year after, he was one of those Philly boys, didn't really do a lot, took a year off, came back, got back in the groove. And then like so like all my reps and all my key guys that are here now, like they're kind of at the top of their game too. Right. And then I guess that like, this is kind of like my downturn. The next 2 years, I actually go backwards. Like I do less accounts and then less accounts. And like, I remember after Austin, like I'm sitting there and this is in 2023 and I'm like thinking like, I'm going to have to go do a golden door next year because I'm not going to have any downline. Like, I think that like just my whole group's going to quit.
Why did that happen?
Well, there's a lot of situational things with Austin. Like the second year in New York, it wasn't like anything was bad. Like we had great things. We were just we like lost downlines. So like there was like, at this point, door to door is getting really competitive, right? And people are doing stuff. And, like if you don't build a network, like I wouldn't want to solely knock on doors for 20 years straight. Like, and I think a lot of my people just like didn't ever grow and build. Like they would sell more personally every year. And then it got to the point where they were tired on knocking on doors and they were just like, would refuse to recruit and manage. Like I would put reps underneath people. I would pay for lead services. Like I would offer to go shoulder tap with them, but like I couldn't really duplicate myself. Like that's been my hardest thing up to that point in my career. And then there was like a housing debacle where I had a team leader underneath me who just like wanted a ton of housing for his reps. Like so many people had their own rooms, and we brought families out there with kids. And when it was all said and stored, dude, he was like negative $100,000 on housing. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I think I'm so good at housing now because of one of those things, right? It's like we keep on talking about that. You do something the wrong way and you reap the punishment of it. Like you very quickly learn the right way to do it. And so like, shout out Jace at housing, but like our housing for my group this year, it's fire. Like everything's in budget, or it should be. We got nice places, and yeah, we're doing stuff the right way. So
as long as you do learn, right? That's like one of the definitions of intelligence.
Yeah.
Is like you learn and then you correct, right? So make sure you're doing that.
Yeah. It's just like, it's experience, right? And so it's just like all this stuff, like we go backwards, and like I really hit the drawing board. I'm like, no, F that. Like I'm going to rally. I'm going to buckle down. I don't care how many hours it takes. Like I'm going to recruit my butt off. And I did. Like between 23 and 2024, I just like we didn't even have an office, did we? Mm-mm. No, I was, my firstborn was just born, right? Like at this point, Trip is in, one, and I'm just grinding. Okay. Reaching out to people, recruiting, saving people, bringing people back, all that stuff. And then last year was great. Last year we did numbers, and we were right back to where we were at my biggest summer in 2021. And so it's like, I really feel like I'm back. And that's why I've been working so hard this year. Like I know me and you've been logging hours this year and everything, but it's like, I know what it feels like to have that momentum and feel like you've always made it, and then drop. And then now that I'm like kind of back and even way past where I was, if we want to talk about how I'm feeling about this year and what I've accomplished in this off season, it's like, I don't ever want to lose it again. Mm-hmm. Like I'm fighting for it 10 times harder. I'm taking it 10 times more serious.
I think you put in a lot of work this off season.
A lot. And like in years past, I'll admit that, like I'll just like kind of like, dude, I have a lot of hobbies too, and I family and everything else. Like I'll kind of like take a break from Aptive for a month or two, and then like get back right before the summer starts, and then rally and recruit a full team and do all that. Real estate
too, man. That's something we haven't talked a lot about.
Yeah,
we talked a little bit about it, but that's like when I like being vulnerable, when I like get sidetracked, or I feel like I don't have the best day at Aptive, like I'm not like super locked in one day. Like my meetings, I got them done, but like I didn't do anything like proactive or anything like that, because there's days like that. I think it's because I've got, something with our property comes in and we kind of have to fix it, or like something with my other rental, like I have new people moving in, or I got to get it cleaned or like something like that. So I think a lot of times it's like a little bit of mismanagement of time, and then there's like all these things that kind of happen, and then it just kind of like makes you like, I can't sit down and like really focus on something right now. Like I need to go do something to get my mind off of things, stuff like that. So like totally understand it. By the way, you were building up a real estate portfolio, and I know you hold yourself to a high standard, and so you could have done things differently. I'm not saying you couldn't have, but you had a lot going on too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton going on. Like when we tell those summer stories, I mean, you got to think I'm also got engaged, got married, had my first kid, actively investing, actively buying real estate. Like I bought my first investment property from day trading stocks when the stock market crashed from in COVID. So like that's something we need to talk about. Like I took like a whole little like 3-4 months, learned how to day trade, made a ton of money doing that. Okay. Bought a house with that. And there's side quests going on, right? There's tons of side quests going on.
Trust that Daniel Farriss has some side quests.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I a big reason, I told Damon this, like I remember Damon wanted me to like spend more hours one year in the office, which looking back, I should have. He's like, Daniel, like you got too much stuff and you do too much stuff, and like, you got to like lock in. It's like, Damon, like I'm locked in, but like this job would not be worth it for me if I didn't have that. Like if I couldn't go on a surf trip for 2 weeks, just randomly, and I was only making like 150 grand a time. I was like, would it really be worth it for me to make 150 grand? It's like, I love the 4 months, 5 months on, and then the 8 months off. And then I realized like, you're not going to build anything doing that. Like that's like really cool situational. And I tell my reps this, selling is a job. Like if you're a really good sales rep, it's a great job. Recruiting and leadership and mentorship is a career. Okay. Like let's look at the Golden Door winners. They make a lot of money, right? Regional managers also make a lot of money. Regionals want to make that same money next year. They just manage their people and grow and mentor and lead and all the stuff that is really hard to do. Golden Door reps got to go do another Golden Door. So like if Golden Door reps, if they don't grow, like, yeah, they make insane money, but if they want to make that money for 10 years in a row, they got to do a Golden Door 10 years in a row. And so that's why I say selling is a great job, but leadership and management and mentorship is a career. And I was listening to
I would even say a lifestyle too.
Yeah. Like I was listening to the podcast with, Todd Peterson and Casey Baugh, and they said they like defined it beautiful for me. It's like we're in the people development business. Like we don't sell pest control, we don't knock on doors, it's not security, it's not solar, it's not roofing, it's not any of these things. We're in the people development business, and we mentor and develop people, and we make a lifestyle with it. So it's pretty cool.
Definitely a lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you want to grow continually, it has to be a lifestyle, I think, for sure.
And I got that wake up call in 2023 because I think that I was at a point now where like, I think a lot of people would have quit in my position. I really do. Where like, you were like at like such a top and then you felt like you were about to lose everything. I think a lot of people would have pivoted. They would have gone and done something else. And I was like, no, screw that. Like I'm loyal to Aptive. Like that's one thing. I was like, my blood is Aptive green. Like if you look at the 10 years, like who's even left? Like I'd like to, like they should do that at the end of the summer and be like, hey, this is Aptive's 10th year. Who is still here that has been there? And another thing is I've knocked doors every summer. There's never been like, there's people that's here that have taken summers off the doors. Like even divisionals and senior team leaders in our group have taken summers off the doors and are back. Like I've been on the doors, high performing. Like I do over 200 to 250K every year, every single year. So
they need to make you guys a shirt.
Something. Yeah. Something. I don't know, but we really out you. Like when we say we're out here, we're really, really out here.
Yeah. So much experience in there. So you got your first property. You were saying
23 years old,
still in school, right?
Still in school.
And then what was the progression like after that? Just for the people interested in real estate here, I know it's one of the big reasons we do this. Yeah,
I'd love to talk about that story, and it's kind of similar to my Aptive story. And this last year, I got a real like epiphany, life lesson from all this. So, being mentored by Damon, and like I don't want to understate that. I think that I probably should give him more appreciation because we're such close friends. But like you got to think along the way, he's like hand holding me and showing me how to build credit, showing me how to invest, showing me how to introducing me to like financial consultants and advisors and all this stuff. Like he's really like, I think that I got more of Damon's time than maybe any other Aptive rep. And so it's like, dude, I can't give him enough appreciation for like, dude, he has changed me and my family's life probably forever. And so he's teaching me a lot about real estate along the way, and he's teaching me how to build credit and have purchasing power and doing all this stuff. But it's like, I wasn't making $1 million a year, so I could only do so much. Right. And so for years and years, I would invest, but I could only get like one thing at a time. And so it's like, I got that first house, when I was in college. And then at the end of the COVID summer, 2020, I bought, that other house when I cashed out on those stocks. Okay. And then, I started making really good money when going into those New York years. Right. And so I'd buy like one or two properties a year, and we'd always do like really crafty stuff. My wife has a real estate license. I don't know if I mentioned that. So it's really nice because I buy properties through my wife and her team. And, we'll get into that kind of how that's kind of grew into like an amazing situation for us and all the Aptive reps. And so, but I'm only getting like one or two at a time, always getting really good deals on stuff, like getting stuff like pre-listings and off-market stuff. Like that was always happening. But again, like I was spending so much time into real estate, Robbie. Like I was reading and investigating. Like I remember two of the houses that I got is because I went on MLS and saw that it was the same listing agent. I was like, that was cool. And I looked at like who owned it. Like we looked at the deeds and stuff, saw it was the same LLC. And we went to them. We're like, we realized that you're selling both these properties. Give us a better deal if we buy both of them at the same time. And so property, I think 3 and 4 for me were like a package deal situation. So like we were all like, I was always spending time, whether I was buying a lot of properties or not, like I was spending a lot of time into learning how different loans work, into learning like all these different programs, how to do all this stuff. But I really wasn't getting a lot of traction. Like you look over like a 5-year period, I had acquired 4 properties. Okay. But spending a ton of time and just educating and learning. And then last year I got 15 properties in 1 year. Which is insane. So it's like 5 years, only 4 properties, and then 6th year of investing, 15 in 1 year. And it's like, I think that's kind of like, you're just chiseling away something. You're chiseling away something. You're not always going to see huge results right at the end. And then as long as you stay at it and you keep disciplined, like you're going to have your moment and you're going to pop. But if you quit, you'll never get there. Right. And so like, I think I could have gotten really frustrated with the real estate stuff because, it's not like I was ever cash flowing a ton. Like I was doing well enough where I was like, okay, this is cool. But the headaches were probably worse than how cool the little bit of cash flow was. But I was also buying at good times, right? Like I had tons of equity in these houses. I'll talk about our 7-plex deal, how we were able to pull that off with taking HELOCs out of other investments. So we essentially like, it's not like it didn't cost us any money, guys, but we essentially bought an apartment complex with no money from our bank account, right? Like we just transferred the equity into a HELOC and borrowed from that HELOC for the down payment. So that was pretty cool. And if I wasn't doing that stuff, like purchasing those properties along the way, I would not have had the equity built up to be able to do that. And so there's a lot of stuff that we were doing those 5 years that allowed me to do 15 last year. And so I got a duplex in April. We figured out that the same seller of that duplex was trying to get rid of it was off market. We figured out he lives in California, just couldn't manage it. These are like Section 8 properties. Figured out he's trying to get rid of another duplex. I get in there, I moved some stuff around, sold some stuff, got the other duplex. Then there was a triplex for sale. And I definitely could have pulled off by myself. Meanwhile, I have Kayliana, who is like one of my favorite reps ever. Like you look at her progression. She's outpacing me, by the way. Like girl made over 60 grand her first summer, 89,000 her second summer. And after ETLB and all the bonuses, she'll make dang near 170 from last year in 5 months of work. And so she's been grinding. She's telling me she's interested in real estate. I love my people. I tell them like, hey, it's bigger than bug spray. Like, I want you guys to be not just good pest control salesmen. Like, I want to help you and women. I want to help you win at life. And so I partner with her on that triplex because she wants to get into real estate. And I want to help her. Meanwhile, this triplex was just like such a good deal. I was like, we can't pass it up. And I think that's kind of like when you heard that I was like doing partner deals and looking for stuff. And, I think I brought you to that. And then we were able to pull that 7-plex deal with like, yes, we went into debt for it, but we spent virtually not a ton of money out of pocket for it, right? And the cash flow is going to pay all of the debt and then some. Like, I love that 7-plex.
Yeah, we talked about this before, but it's like the real estate game, you just have to have some balls. Yeah. Like, you just have to be willing to do it because like not a lot of people would take the risk. And in this deal that we did together, there's a ton of people that there were like, we talked about it as it was going. We were out there on
so much adversity
on doors and talking about it. Yeah. And working and we were like, there were probably 5 points
that we
like
could have backed
distinct out. Points where it was like, should we even do this? like 5 points where it was like, okay, we're doing it. Oh God, this is a roadblock. Like, how are we going to, should we,
yeah.
Okay, let's get over that. Awesome. Cool. Back on the route. Okay. But then the financing changed. Oh, okay. Is this worth it?
Yeah, guys,
okay.
like we've done like little deals, but like getting a $1.6-1.5 million loan is no joke.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so there is like, dude,
some people it might be, but when that's your biggest,
that was my biggest, and we were doing,
and by far my biggest,
and
so
like
far.
I'm learning every day, right? But I'm loving these no doc loans and these commercial loans. Yeah, you pay a little bit more on the interest rate, but like there's different creative financing stuff and moving money around. Like, dude, I've learned so much of how to get deals across the finish line this year. It's awesome. And the 7plex, like it's going to be great. Like I was looking at the number, like we're both numbers people. We talked about that earlier on this chat. And it's like, when you're looking at the numbers on the page, it's like, this is going to be a winner. Like,
definitely. Like
it's a winner now, but when we look at what it's going to look like 5-10 years from now, like it's going to be a winner.
A big winner. So
because
Wilmington's only just,
and yeah, quick. I've been giving a lot of little shout outs in there. Quick shout out to Dom. Like, so the guy who is the leader, runs the team that my wife sold on, her real estate with, yeah. Like obviously with my wife having babies, she kind of took a step back from real estate, kept her license active. Meanwhile, I've still been working with Dom, who taught Alex everything. And he has just been like, dude, he's been another big blessing. And just, dude, he's he got to be one of the most connected people. Like he just has such a huge web, and he's so fired up about seeing other young people win, because he's a baller, bro. Like Dom is a freaking baller. Yeah. He's
a beast.
Like self-made, like true definition of self-made. Just does it all, man. I don't want to share too much of his personal business on here, but just does it all, man. Shout out Dom. And not to say that like I've never butted heads with him, but I just think that he's just like, dude, he's such a good person to have in your network. So cool. Yeah. And then topped it off with an Airbnb at the end of the year. We actually bought it as a primary because we're remodeling our house. We're going to move into it, but the remodel's it's all over the place. We're still getting it done, but basically we haven't moved into that property yet. But it's right now it's housing for my reps. Okay. I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah.
They're in there.
Yeah. So we talk about keeping your summer housing costs good. When you have the Airbnb, your reps are staying in. It's even better. But yeah.
That's hacking right there.
Yeah. So we got this Wilmington preseason group going, and there's a few of the guys that are staying there. So it's been good. And yeah, just learning a lot. The guy who sold us the 7plex, he's like slowly turning into, so this is a good story. We buy this 7plex and we're super intimidated. And so we reach out to Dom and we're like, hey, like, I want you to give us the number to the person, like the seller. He's like, dude, that's like weird. Like, I'm like, dude, I promise I'm not gonna blow him up. I just want to take him to coffee. Okay. Like he made this amazing property. He worked with us on it. Like how cool was Ethan along? Like we wouldn't have been able to get that deal done if the seller wasn't so cool.
This guy bought this 7-unit apartment complex in downtown Wilmington in the Cut, like in Wilmington, it's a Section 8 area.
It was the Cut, but now it's not. It's the Soda Pop district.
Right, but I'm saying he bought it when it was way more.
Talk about a visionary.
Right. Yeah, so then 18 months, I think it was.
Yeah.
He takes this place, redoes, I would say probably like 60% kind of like refurbishes the place up a little bit.
Makes it look super like urbanistic. Like, yeah, like, and like I was telling you like I would live there, Airbnb there if I had to.
Into being probably one of the nicer, you've seen a lot of Section 8 and Trillium properties. It's
I own a lot of them.
One of the nicer Section 8 properties that you'll see. Like it's nice.
For sure. Like our tenants are very grateful to live there because they know the alternative is like not that nice.
So Ethan, this just light of a man, he's got a family. He does that in 18 months, fills all the units but one, 6 out of 7. He's got a great relationship with all of them. They all love him. Like,
yes, that's like the thing. Like we just see like the way that the tenants talked about him. We're like, whoa, like this guy must have been a superhero. Like what? This is crazy.
Like they didn't want him to go.
They were like kind of apprehensive about us because Ethan was so good. And then I'm talking to these people's caseworkers and they're talking so highly of this Ethan guy. And I'm, even the people from the accounting are like, talk about how Ethan. I'm like, dude, I got to meet him. Like I'm really interested in real estate. Like real estate will be what I do forever.
Right.
Okay. Like, and have you heard of we won't even get into that. Like I'm very visionary with the real estate. Like that will be my retirement. Right.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm trying to learn as much as possible and do as much as possible right now. And it's like, dude, the way that people were talking about it, I was like, I have to meet this guy. Like, I just like, let me take him out to lunch, dinner, coffee, whatever it takes. And through a series of things, Dom eventually gives me his number and was like, hey, like, don't make this weird. And so I reach out to Ethan. I was like, hey, this is Daniel. This is Robbie. Like, we bought the 7-plex from you. We appreciate everything you did to help us get the deal across the finish line. Can we take you to lunch? And I mean, you were there. We went to lunch and we just instantly hit it off with this guy. Like, just, you know, that maybe not quite the Step Brothers moment, like the movie where it's like, did we just become best friends? But it's like, I know you had somewhere to go, and then I stayed there and talked to him for like another hour. And since then, I mean, I talk to him at least once a week on the phone, and we go out to eat, and he has introduced me to all these connections in town. And through that, I've been able to fill a bunch of my other stuff, been able to leverage a bunch of things, increase rents. I know how to work with all these different subsidy programs. I have caseworkers now that have a relationship with me. And so they know that Ethan's like mentoring me and that I keep my places not like, cause it's very quick. Like, there's a lot of bad landlords, right? There's a lot of bad landlords.
There are.
And so when you get really good ones, these caseworkers in these programs, and I don't just do Section 8. I don't want to get on this podcast and make it seem like I only have Section 8 stuff. Like, I got stuff by the college, I have Airbnbs, but like specifically for these subsidy housing programs, it's like once these people realize that you have really good properties, they want to use you. And so he's just been introducing me to everyone, and it's been going great. So, you know, I think that the people you meet along the way make a big difference, right? Like, I look at, you know, meeting Damon, what that's turned in my life, meeting Dom, what that's done in my life. You know, we just met Ethan. Like, this is still really fresh. Like, we've known him now for 3 months. Okay.
And it all started because you wanted to take a risk that some people, it seems uncomfortable. Like, Dom was a little hesitant at first, right? But you got to push. You got to push through that and establish connections with people that you look up to. Like, that's a big skill in life, having those conversations, not being uncomfortable. And, you know, if there's anything that door-to-door teaches you to...
not being scared to get told no.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Dude, I could care less. Like, my friends who went to high school with me was like, that's always been a personality trait of mine, is like, I don't like rejection, no big deal. If people don't like me, I don't really care. Okay, like, I'm going to do my thing, and I'm not scared to like ask somebody of something or put myself out there with like the fear of rejection or anything like that. So
100%. So you got 15 doors under your belt this year.
Yeah,
you know,
just
last year, going to a big year, probably your biggest year at Aptive we're going into for sure. Really hot start already.
Like, I'm so thankful. Like, I say my blessings every day. Like I've always wanted to be at this point. And like, I feel the momentum going into this year. So we should do amazing things this year. I think, of Q1 revenue, I'm just like absolutely crushing that. Like, I'm out there competing with the regionals. So this year should
you're about to get another little piece of hardware.
Yeah, their group message with all the leaders in it is like, somebody even saying it's like, at this point they're competing for second.
Love that.
For that incentive.
You about to have another option for your wrist.
Yeah. Rolling number 2.
Number 2. We're about to both earn one. To be honest with you.
Come on, give me some.
Let's go.
Yeah, boom. No, that's awesome.
So I can replace this calculator watch with the Rolly.
Super excited for this summer. And I mean, the guys that I'm working with now, and girls, like, I'm gonna brag on the girls a bunch too. They're just the best group I've ever had. Like, lots of young, up and coming, hardworking leaders. Like, look at Travis, right? Like, dude was a business owner of 3 businesses. This is actually pretty good. Travis was like my first little saving light, I guess, coming out of that 2023 summer. And then Travis like pulls me aside and was like, Daniel, I've known you for 3 years. What the heck do you do again? I explained it to him in detail. We actually do a meeting, right? He's like, I'm in.
He's running a bar.
Yeah, he's doing all these things, right? And
not that fresh kid out of college that he's running a bar. He's got multiple business pursuits going on. You know, the type of person that you'd think like, door to door couldn't be for them, right? They're too old to get into it.
Like, I think there's a lot of people that would have never approached Travis about this, right? He's 32 years old, maybe 31 at the time. He owns 3 businesses. He's successful. Travis is making like 6 figures a year doing this stuff. Now, he's taking on some debt too because he's opening businesses and he's scaling, but like, he's doing good. Like, he's like, in my opinion, like the the people's mayor of this town that he's in, right? Like he's this whole thing. But I instantly knew that he would be good at Aptive. And so like, I'd be lying if I didn't say like, I was like kind of putting little hints along the way. And when you're recruiting a whale like that, it's not going to get done in one meeting. And it might not even get done 1 year. It might take 2 years of recruiting somebody.
3.
Yeah. Like I have this rep that we got brought over from another company. He's selling with us this year. I recruited him for 4 years. I lost a recruiting battle with him his rookie year, and he went and sold with that other company. And I followed up with him throughout the summer, at the end of the summer, before the summer, for 4 years to get him to come out. And so like, you just gotta be patient in your time. But yeah, with the Travis thing, like, I think like, never question God's timing, because me and Travis could have met at any point in our life. Like the first night that we met years ago, we have like 100 mutual friends. Like where it got scary, it was like when we were talking about the people that we both knew, we're like, how have we never met before? And so it was just this freak thing. And then our relationship, that was the stepbrothers moment, where it's like me and him are like, did we just become best friends? Like you ever have those people in your life where it's like you hang out with them one time and then you've just never stopped hanging out with them?
Yeah. That
was me and Travis the first time that we met. Like we met each other one time, and then ever since then, like we've never not been in each other's life. Right. And so he comes out in his 30s, top rookie on my team last year. Loves it, looks at me in the eyes, and like he like catches the vision. He gets it. He's arguably one of the most dynamic people you'll ever meet. Like he's just, oh my gosh, he's great. And starts early, and I mean, I think by the end of this week he'll pass 100K in revenue. He's like dang near 80. I don't know if he'll quite get to 100, but it'll be close. Okay.
By March.
By April 1st, he'll be 100. And so top rep in Alpha, right? By miles.
Yes.
Yeah. So
for sure. Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the 12-year or 12-month turnaround from small town saloon restaurant owner to like, Travis is going to make good money this year, bro.
Multiple 100,000.
Yeah. And he's like I had a really serious conversation with him about this a couple weeks ago. Like he had team leaders first year. This year he'll be senior team leader. Next year he will be a divisional, and there's no doubt in my mind he'll be regional in 4 years. Like, and he when you talk to him about it, like you'll get chills. Like he's so serious about it. So, yeah, man, like working alongside like that, and then like the last couple of years, like Joel, right? Like Joel's like one of my favorite people to work with, and I'm missing so many different people, right? Like I could brag about all my new people, like Casey Savage, like all these people that have came in this organization in the last 2 years or 3 years, and it's like, my group is just, I love this group. So, and my group has like a cool bond. Travis calls it the island of misfit toys. I think a lot of us don't fit the typical mold. The mold. And then, we should do great. We're looking at 3 large teams or 4 normal sized teams as of right now. So
cool. And I mean, kind of going into your last year, this year, the most recent year here, what would you say? I want maybe to give some advice to some rookies that are going to like start in this industry. So what would you say, talking to anybody that's new to this, coming in first year, maybe they're in school right now, they haven't started yet? What's some Daniel Farriss advice?
Yeah, I mean, how long you got, Jackson? We could do a whole additional podcast on that, but no, just keeping it short. Like, I'll talk about my rookie experience, and I'll talk about you've seen it. I've had a lot of the top rookies, and definitely Wyatt's region, but the partnership over the last 4 or 5 years in a row. Like I was the top rookie, then Bruce was the top rookie. Then I don't think Tucker was that year, but he was the top rookie on our team. Then John Sullivan, right, top rookie-ish. Then Will Q. Then in New York, I forget, Kaliana. No, that was the second year Kaliana was. I don't know who was our person first year in New York. And then Joel, and then Travis. Like I've had top rookies year and year and year. And so like, I was a top rookie. So like, I know what it takes to be a top rookie. I think preparation is huge. Like if you think that you're just going to like think this into existence, like shut up, go read the manual, go write your script down, go on Inzi, watch all the videos, figure out which ones you like the most or who you relate to personality wise, then write their pitch down, learn all their responses. And before you watch all of Brian Swindlehurst's Accelerate trainings, do the rookie core. And after you do that, do it again. And if you haven't done any of that stuff and you just expect to just think this into existence, it's not going to happen. Okay. And then after you've prepared, be competitive. Like, I think that's what, like, I went out there my first year and was ready to compete. Mm-hmm. Like, there was a tournament my rookie year called the Rat Race. Was there a Rat Race when you were?
No.
Okay. So the way the Rat Race worked is,
interesting name.
All the sales reps in the whole company. This is a throwback for the OGs. Okay. All the sales reps in the whole company were in it the first Saturday. And then the second Saturday, half of them advanced. Then another half advanced. Then another half advanced. Then another half advanced. And when there was 4 left, I believe it was, if I missed 1 or 2 of these names, I apologize. I'm sure that there's someone at corporate that could pull this up. But it was like, it was Brigham, Jared Brown, David Daines, and me, a rookie. And so, like, go be competitive is what I got to say. Like, if you're a rookie, go compete. Like, there's no reason just because you're a rookie you can't throw at big numbers.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So as long as that you're prepared and you're ready to work really hard, just go out there and be competitive.
What's keeping you going this year? What's motivating you?
Baby number 2. Yeah, man. Like, dude, again, like, I just am so thankful every single day. Like, I look at where my life is right now, and yeah, I'm so blessed. Like, my wife is in such a good spot, right? Like, she does the real estate stuff, but really she's a stay-at-home mom. And all you guys who have met my wife, like, she's the best person on the earth. Like, she's really my rock. Like, she holds it down so good, and she's my best friend. And, you know, she's such a good mom. Like, I think when people, this is a true story. Like, you know, when people are growing up, like, your teacher will ask you, like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you got people like, I want to be a firefighter, or a doctor, or a lawyer, or a basketball player. Like, she would literally tell people, I want to be a mom. Right. And now, like through Aptive and everything we've done, like, we've been able to give that to her, where she just watches the kids, and it's not like she just watches them. Like, she's so good with the kids, like, teaches them and is patient with them. And we just had our second kid, Frankie, little Frankie, and having a girl's kind of changed me a little bit. Right. And so, yeah, man, like, the family, I work really hard now because my big goals is, like, I don't ever want to miss a basketball game. Like, I don't ever want to miss a dance recital. And so, like, I'm willing to do, like, I was at the office with reps training last night, before and after the Jake West training. So we were there till 11 o'clock last night. Like, and, you know, back up this morning at it. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice whatever it takes now so that later on in life we're good. And, you know, like, the coaching stuff that we're doing, did I tell you about that? So, like, I want to do something for my reps. Like, I've made great money at Aptive. And not to the point, like, where I'm complacent. Like, I'm trying to get better every single year, but, like, I really wanted to do something to give back to my group. And so I paid for professional coaching for all of, like, the pillar reps of my group. Like, dropped like $30,000 this year and got all of them coaching. And I'm doing it myself too. And I think that it was like, you gotta, like, swallow your pride a little bit, because like, I was like, I don't ever need to do that. Like, I can figure it out. Like, you know, you read it in a book, like, you know, you just go and do it, right? But then I kind of had this epiphany where it's like, hey, if you only get your knowledge from one source, like, how do you expect to be, like, an elite human being, right? And I think Aptive does a great job. Like, Aptive does a great job of teaching you communication and sales and leadership and mentorship and all these things, right? But, like, you got to admit, Aptive is not going to teach you 100% of everything that you need to have in life, right? And, like, I think we see that. Like, I think we see people that only rely on Aptive and do that for 10 years, and then they, like, really lack in some capacity. And so, like, I didn't want to lack in any capacity, and I wanted my people to not lack in any capacity. So I got this professional coaching. And one of the first things that we talked about was, like, this idea of time perspective. Have you ever heard this term before? I had never heard it.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually bring this up a lot on my recruiting meetings. So what time perspective means is the way that people view their time and how they make decisions. Okay. For instance, they say the average, and this is like studied. Yeah. The average American, I think, has a 2-week time perspective. I think a lot of people might infer that to like maybe like they're living paycheck to paycheck, right? And they're making decisions based on that. Like an alcoholic would have a time perspective of the time of, well, when is my next drink? A homeless person would have a time perspective of, I'm going to make daily decisions on where am I sleeping tonight or where am I eating tonight, right? Like the amount of time that goes into the way that you make your decisions. But when this is studied over a long period of like history, not just like successful businesses or CEOs or entrepreneurs, but we're talking like governments, nations, like all that. Okay. They have an elongated time perspective, which means they're making daily decisions, not just on what today looks like or tomorrow looks like or a month looks like or year or 2 years look like what is this going to look like for me 10 years from now? Like, IBM, Coach Kirk said that they have a 25-year time perspective. So they're making decisions as a business of where they want to be in 25 years. GE, they have a 50-year time perspective, which means there's people at work right now at GE doing things at their salary paid job of where GE wants to be at in March of 2075. Okay. And there's companies out in, I don't know if it's Japan or China. I'd have to ask Kirk what he told me, but I think it's Japan that has like a 100-year time perspective. They only do stuff based on when cars are going to be flying or whatever. And so why am I telling you all this? Because the decisions you make today and tomorrow will have a drastic impact of where you're going to be at a decade from now, 2 decades from now. And I looked at the decisions that I made 10 years ago, getting involved with Aptive and investing and personal development and all this stuff, and how much it's impacted my life now. And so you say what's keeping me going. I know that was a really long preface to answer your question. Well, what's keeping me going is like where I want to be at in 10 years from now. Have you heard like Matthew McConaughey talk about this? They say like, he asked like, you need to chase somebody. Like, who are you chasing? Okay. He goes, he's chasing himself in 10 years. And then he's chasing himself in another 10 years. And he knows he'll never get there. Right. And so what keeps me going is like, I want to just create the most amazing life for me and my people and my network and my family 10 years from now, and then another 10 years from now, and then another 10 years from now. And that's kind of the idea of time perspective.
Well, I think that's a good way to wrap it up. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And appreciate you coming on. I'm excited for 2025 for you, and it's going to be a huge year. So
yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Ravi.
Yeah, dude. Let's get it.
Yeah.